All right, this video is designed to help you go through some of the other parameters that are needed for exclusive units when you're setting them up. So I'm going to go ahead and open up one of the leads here in my folder, and I'll kind of give a brief overview. We'll go into some of them in more detail. This is just kind of the overview. But what you're going to find is that there are some things that are for exclusives only. Okay, so one of which is a signed contract. Obviously, that one's pretty simple. You just would check it off if we do indeed have a signed contract, which is kind of the first step. The next area are kind of the basic parameters. We need to upload the property into the system. And one of those parameters is our other parameters, and we'll take a look at that. So one of the things that we need, obviously, to put the property into our system is we need to make sure that we have initial photographs. This one is not required to upload a property in the system, but usually we like to have someone from our property from our company have gone there to do a site visit. Usually that's a caretaker or some representative of our company if possible. Again, not required, but definitely something we like to do. If you don't think that a site visit is feasible or is necessary, just talk with your manager about it and they can kind of give you the thumbs up or thumbs down. The one thing we are going to need though is the pricing. Okay, so if a person is going exclusive with us, they don't have pricing already. They're going to be like, oh, well, what should we charge per night? You're going to want to discuss that with your manager in order to come up with the pricing that they think is right for this unit for the region that it's in. Okay, so then you're just going to enter all of those. You click OK, and then they basically will show that those things have all been done. Okay. So next are our follow-up items for exclusive. So after the property has been uploaded, next we got to handle the follow-up items, and there's quite a few of them. First of all, you're going to want to check with the bookings department to ensure that the marketing, all the listings and things like that for that property have been deployed, and you're going to want to look at them to make sure that they look good, so that they're, so that people will actually inquire about the home on all the listing sites that are out there. You're going to want to ensure that this property not only has the initial photos that we got, but that it has been professionally shot. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll just get some initial photos to get the property into our system, but at some point we're going to want to make sure that thing gets great photos because photos are the #1 things that sells the property. You're going to want to check the description of the property both on our website and on all of the other websites to make sure the description is catchy, that it will work to actually get people inquiring about the home, and has that it's going to work. Next thing is entering the caretaker into the system, assigning the unit to the caretaker, and making sure the caretaker has login credentials. We're going to cover those in another video. Same with the owner login and getting the owner trained. Check-in instructions. Also, this is something that we need to make sure are in the system. You'll basically ask for the owner to provide, some kind of check-in instructions so that they will provide us with information that we can then pass along to the guests for how to access the unit. You basically want to make sure that those are in the system. How you get it, you can be as creative as you want. Just you might talk with your manager if you have questions on how to get the check-in instructions for the property. The lockbox information, so usually what we do is we'll set up a property with a lockbox almost always, and we will want to put that information into Streamline for the unit. So that's something that you're going to want to do. Next are the parking rules. You'll want to make sure that you know what those are from the owner. You'll want to know the checkout times. Make sure that those are in Resort Pro in the check-in instructions area so that when guests are coming, that you know that those guests are indeed going to get their, know when they're supposed to check in and check out. Again, you can talk with your manager more about that if you're not sure, but it's fairly simple. What you're doing is you are going to go to the check-in instructions area and just put in that little box where you write in all the check-in instructions, check-in time, this time, check-out time, that time, okay? You'll want to check once we got our first booking because you're not done with all your items until this property has been booked at least once. You'll want to make sure that all the notifications are properly set up. This has to do with usually you're not going to have to worry about that too much. When you get to this one, you might discuss it with your manager, but generally the notifications are already all set up by default. But I would discuss this one with your manager when you get to it. Last is a property details report is done and added to the booking system. So what happens is when you're dealing with a property owner, you can actually send them a property details report, which I'll provide in the training area. What it is it's a report that you send to the owner where they can fill out all sorts of information about their property, and then when they submit that in, we need to make sure that that information that they submitted, a link to that information is entered into the agent notes for the agents. Okay, we will in Streamline, for every property there is a section called agent notes that you can go to. And within a property profile, you go there, you find it, you then enter in that specific link to that report that was filled out by the owner onto the agent notes. And then last, you're going to want to see if you can get the owner to get reviews on their listings. So you're going to work with the owner to see if they have friends or family or anyone who has stayed in the property, or even they themselves, to go onto our listings that we've created and to put some reviews. Reviews are incredibly important, and when we set up a property, we want to see if we can get the owner to give some. Okay, so I will provide. If you have any questions about this, take them one at a time. Once a property's in the system, we want to start going through these one by one. Talk with your manager, and we can go through these follow-up items together. If needed, if you're not sure how to do any of them. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed by them. Just take them one at a time and start checking them off the list. Okay, if you have any other questions, please just let me know.